Okay, it's 10 after 2, so it's several hours later, and what I've been doing is a typical act of futility. I took the elbow off of this riser on the exhaust system where the cooling water exhausts the boat, and found it all clogged up. The elbow was clogged up, and into it, and this elbow, cast iron elbow, was clogged up. And I spent an hour or two trying to get it unclogged, and really only met with limited success. I can blow through it, but you know, it's supposed to be a 1/4 of an inch wide passage all the way through, and it's maybe half of that. So that, I think, caused crud to back up and get deposited in the system, and that's why this is the old thermostat. Maybe you can see it, all caked up and crudded up and really ugly looking, as was the elbow and the housing for the thermostat and this exhaust elbow here, all full of crud. And I think it's because the exhaust elbow got full of crud and then it backed up that way as the flow diminished. Anyway, I had to put it back together because I can't really free it up. It's got to be taken off of here, and either some extraordinary measures done on the workbench, or else it's got to be replaced, and probably far easier to replace it. So what I'm doing right now is I tightened up that cover on the water pump a little bit, and I'm going to test it again just by pouring some water down the tube that feeds the water pump, and I want to see if it's still going to leak out that gasket or not. And if I can't tighten it up so it doesn't leak, I'm going to have to take it apart again. And the question is it leaking or not leaking? Dry it with a paper towel. You hear a little noise every now and then. I've got the pressure water system on. I just washed my hands, so every now and then it'll go off and make a little noise. So yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to get the set to turn the right way. I'm going to try tightening these screws some more, and yeah, I can see it dripping down here. Yeah, it's missing one screw, and that's where it's leaking. Where that screw And it goes all the way through to the body of the thing or not. Put my finger over the dike here, dry it off, and we'll see. Huh. Well, that's it. There was a screw with the head broken off, and I took the stud out when I had the cover off, and of course it's leaking right through that hole. So you didn't really have any choice but to take out a screw and go to the hardware store and go through their little metric screws and get a brass or a stainless one that is the same size. So watch me drop this in the bilge where it never be seen again. Try something real quick. And that's to put the screw in the hole where it's leaking. And of course, I'm sure it'll leak out of the other hole. Now, I'll pour some water back in there again and watch what it does. My handy dandy little rag here. Well, for reasons I can't explain, it's not leaking. Maybe because I can't get the water high enough in the system to reach where that other screw is. Oh, it's the third time I've dropped something in the bilge. It's almost possible for me to reach down there. Oh. Well, it seems to not leak, So we might succeed in testing this damn thing, which would be good. Okay. Well, alrighty then. I think what we'll do is button this thing back up again. Where's my good screwdriver? Oh, come on. Yeah, I love this. There it is. So I'll reconnect the hose between the water pump and the transmission, and I'll complete that circuit. Mr. Butterfingers today. I dropped the screwdriver in here twice last hour or so. But anyway. Okay. Make sure all my hoses are tight again. Don't have anything flying off. What I'm going to do, this is what I have to leave off anyway. I'm going to try to prime this system some more. If there is a God, he wants to burp very much here. Alright. Double check this stupid factor here. Oil filler is tight. Got a 5 quarts out of 6 of engine oil in the engine. Dipstick seated in place. So we prime those other lines. Cooling water line is open. I'm going to leave this off of that exhaust thing because what I want to see, I don't want that water to drip out of there. What I want to see is this water pump picking up water and pumping right away. And I'm going to crank the engine over without starting it, hopefully, and that will give the oil a chance to circulate around in there. In fact, I'm going to even open the compression releases here so it won't start up. It'll be able to spin real fast, and that yeah, guess we're going to end up starting it anyway. That wasn't good. I've heard that before. Okay, water pump is working just fine. Shooting seawater all over the place. So, that's the line with all the cooling water that usually goes through this exhaust elbow. So I had it off to make sure that the water pump was in fact pumping. So now, we'll start it again, and pressure came up right away. I'm going to go out and look at the cooling water coming out the side of the pump. So, good news is that the cooling water is coming out the side of the boat in much higher quantities than I have ever seen before, which means that the replacement of the thermostat on the impeller and flushing the cooling system has improved the cooling water flow tenfold. And the oil pressure came up right away, so no problem with the oil change. So good.